Hey guys, it's good to see you once again. My name is Don Alabi, and I would like to thank you for the support you've been giving me. With your support, I'm able to, do one step more each time. So thank you very much, guys. I have got a lot of people asking me about the Retouching Academy Panel. That's the RA panel. I have lots of people telling me do a tutorial on how to use the various functions on it and all that. And I also have people who go like, without the RA panel, my pictures are not dope and all that. So I decided to have a series on the RA panel. I hope this helps you guys. Now, we are going to look at a couple of the shortcuts on what's this RA panel everybody is talking about. It's just a panel with shortcuts. That's all. It doesn't do anything to your images. It's just a panel with lots of shortcuts, making your workflow much more productive, or it makes your workflow smoother than you creating your own actions. It's just a panel with shortcuts and actions. So without it, you can still get dope pictures. With it, doesn't guarantee that you will get dope pictures. It just makes your workflow much more better. Without much ado, let's just go on the screen and then see what we have. Today we are going to be talking about blemish removal. Now, if you look at the picture on the left, this side, this is the raw picture from Capture One, and then on the right is after blemish removal. So this is before, this is after. When you look at this image, the first thing you notice is some few blemishes on her skin, what people will call pimples or something like that. If you zoom into, this is 50%, we notice these are minor blemishes that need to be taken care of. So that's the first thing we are going to do today. Now let's start with what I do. I create an empty layer. If you click on this, it creates an empty layer. So I name it healing, because what I'll be doing is using the healing brush or the spot healing brush. Now what we are going to use is a spot healing brush, which works with content aware. So you just make sure content aware is selected here, and then you enable sample all layers, because we are working on an empty layer. Now what it basically does is when you click on a blemish, it tries to replace it with, it automatically replaces it with what it cleverly thinks should be there. So that's what it does. Now, if you look at this, by just doing this, it takes away the blemishes over there. Now, we can also use the healing brush, but what that does is you need to sample before you can clean whatever is there. And with that also, we choose current and below, because we are working on an empty layer. Instead of duplicating the background layer, I choose to work on an empty layer. So what that does is you have to press and hold Option if you're using a MacBook, and Alt if you're using Windows. Press and hold, sample an area, and then brush over where you want the blemish to go. So what you need to do is sample from an area close to where you want to clean the blemish. It won't make sense if you sample from this side and then come brush over here. You see what's happening? It picks whatever is there and then replaces it on the area you brush on. So let's go back to the spot healing brush, and then I always prefer doing it in 100%, so I get to see every blemish very well before working on. So I'll just fast forward this and then get it done. Then we'll come back and continue. Welcome back. So as you can see, we have taken the blemishes off her face, but I have left quite a few so that we can use a different approach to get rid of them. Now, if you look on this side of the cheek, we've tried taking some of the blemishes off, but then we haven't been able to take all of with the spot healing brush. So I'm now going to pick just the healing brush. So we do the other method. So with what we do with that is you press Alt, sample an area, and then brush over. So that's exactly what you are doing now. Sample and then brush over. sample and brush over. Now it pays to sample very close to the area you want to brush over so that you can maintain the color and the texture in all those areas. Now so far we've used the spot healing and then the healing brush. These two work very well, but there are certain instances where you need to use more than just that. There's the patch tool. Now what the patch tool does is it also works with content aware. So you circle the area you want to correct, then you just drag it to an area where you want to replace. Now I use this for bigger bigger spots. Let's say here you want to work on this. I don't want to waste time and do that, so you just move it around till it works. I use it for mostly background or where we have bigger spots to heal. I don't usually use it on skin. So you go back to healing brush. Now there is the clone stamp also, which works just like the spots, like the healing brush. So let's go to the clone stamp. Now with that, what I do is sample. You have to select current and below or all layers. Otherwise, since we are working on an empty layer, it won't have any effect. And then I leave the flow at 5% and the opacity at 100%. So it works the same way as the healing brush. You press and hold on Option to sample an area and then gently brush over. Now because the flow is at 5%, it will take quite some few strokes to get the desired results. And I intentionally do that so that I don't get carried out, because the clone stamp picks exactly what's at an area and replaces an area with it, just like how the normal stamp works. Pick and then drop, pick and drop. We don't necessarily want the same thing from here to go on where we want to drop. That's why I've reduced my flow. So we just have to build up gently. So that's exactly what I'm doing. You do sample and then brush over, sample, brush over. So with that, we continue sampling and brushing over. And we have, now I've intentionally left this place off because it's the same procedure for the face. If I should do that, it will just prolong the video unnecessarily. So now we have this face from here to here. You guys can see the difference. Let me zoom in fully. Let's check the forehead. This is before, this is now. With just three tools, the spot healing brush, the healing brush, and then the clone stamp, we've been able to take out the blemishes, majority of the blemishes from her face. So this is just one episode in my array panel tutorials. So we'll just continue with the removal here behind the scenes, and then continue to the next video, which is frequency separation using the mixer brush tool. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to thank you for watching.